2, now. Quiet on the set. We're going to go in 10 seconds. 10 seconds live. Everybody places. Welcome in, Scott. Good. He can't hear you. Scott, hang on. We'll be right with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Welcome to Innovative Strategies with Bill Hasse. This is the show designed to help people with financial literacy, but not the way you have known it or grown up knowing it. This is not your grandfather's financial literacy, as Bill uses his 30-plus years in the financial industry to stretch your financial box from, well, about a 30,000-foot view of things. Bill and his guests have helped hundreds of clients achieve and surpass their financial goals, both professionally and personally. If you have questions, please feel free to email them to bill@haase.bill@gmail.com or reach out to him right here at 216thenet@gmail.com. Today, you ever wonder why we have chambers and special guests, the president of the GLMV chamber, Mr. Scott Adams. Bill.
Good morning, Kent. Thanks for the introduction. Before I bring Scott on, I just want to say a quick couple of things. Number one, happy birthday to the Marines.
Oh, yeah, you did. You went there, didn't you?
Right.
Yeah, my uncle's a retired colonel, and my cousin was a retired sergeant for the Marines. So happy birthday, guys. Also, a shout out for tomorrow to all veterans.
Marines, the little brothers of the Navy.
Plus the little brothers of the Navy.
Yeah.
And the big brothers.
My son's in the Navy. That's the running joke, right? They're the little brothers of the Navy, the Marines.
There you go. And today I do have a special guest. I have Scott Adams. He's the president of the GLMV chamber, and I'm going to let him explain what that is. I tell you, I'd go through all the accolades that Scott has, but to be honest, he's just a great family man and a great person to have in your community. Boy, he's big in his community and does many things. He's trustee of the Planning and Zoning Commission. He helped start the farmers market back in 1980 in Libertyville.
Nice.
I mean, he's just done so many things for his community. And
does he still have his overalls? That's the question.
Somewhere in the back of the closet.
He's grown, but Scott, welcome. Give us an idea. What does GLMV stand for, and tell us more about that. More about the chamber.
Thanks, Bill. Happy to be on your show. The GLMV chamber has been around since 1945, so it's an old chamber. Originally started as the Libertyville chamber, and then Mundelein merged with them, and then Vernon Hills and Green Oaks. So the G stands for Green Oaks, the L stands for Libertyville, the M stands for Mundelein, and the V stands for Vernon Hills. So we work jointly with all four of our villages. Like Bill, we've got a member of each village that sits on our chamber board. So we keep in constant contact with them. We work closely with them on a regular basis, and many of our other partners. We've got lots of partners that belong to the chamber. But the funny thing about GLMV is I've been associated with it for many years, depending on where my office particularly was. I come out of the banking industry. I've been with the chamber just about 5 years. So I know most of the businesses in the area. So our chambers really tends to be more of a regional chamber. We've got membership in Wisconsin. We've got membership out in Rockford. We got membership in the city, all the Collar counties, McHenry counties, quite a few members out in that area. So, and the reason they migrate to us is because we are right in the middle of Lake County, and Lake County is the second most viable county in the state of Illinois, with the the commercial, the pharmaceutical companies, and some of the large companies that are in the area. People that join the chamber want to have that contact with the larger businesses in the area, so they tend to come to us and become members.
Yeah. That is amazing. I love it. I love being a part of the chamber myself and get involved. But what type of businesses become members of a chamber? Is it just the small guys, the local restaurants?
We've got kind of a mix of all types of memberships. We've got the mom and pops, obviously. We got the single entrepreneur type people. We've got lots of restaurants. We've got 80 some restaurants that belong to the chamber. We just actually picked up 2 more this last week. But we also have the large companies. We've got the Medlines. We've got the McLean Fogs. We've got the companies of that nature that belong to us. A lot of times those companies particularly join us because they need the community involvement, and it looks good. It looks good to their employees who live in our 4 communities that their large companies belong to the chamber, and they're very supportive in many different ways. We aren't a real politically motivated group, although when we have an issue that comes forward that we feel impacts our membership or one of our villages, then we jump on it and we try to find a way to solve an issue or put more insight into those issues as they go along. And the bigger companies particularly like that because they tend to be a little bit more politically motivated than we are, just because of the dynamics of the way they are. So we can help them in many ways with that as well. So we keep them in the forefront of the things that we're doing. We include them on our legislative committee so that we can have help that way. And it just seems to work well. So to answer your question, we take in all size companies. We can't be everything to everybody, obviously, but we try to do our best to make sure that we provide the services that they need.
That's interesting. So how does it affect those who aren't members in the community? How do people who aren't members how can they use a chamber to their benefit?
We get calls all the time as a resource. They'll call us for maybe they need a contact with the state legislator, or maybe they need to talk to somebody at the county, or maybe it's just somebody on the local level with one of the 4 villages. We provide that service to non-members too. So if they've got something that they need from us, we're more than welcome to share it with them, because you never know that by helping them, they may become a member of the chamber as well. But we're open to helping just about any business that's out there, because it helps the community and makes it more vibrant, and it helps a lot of those businesses stay in business.
Yeah, I've seen how you've been amazing at that, and your support staff with Carol and Vera are outstanding folks. You do great work in helping everybody get that advertising out and marketing and things of that nature. But you have like roughly 200 programs a year.
Yeah, we do a lot of things during the year. We've got we've got our standing groups that we have on a regular basis. You've been a part of the WOW and the Mob. That's our women's and our men's group. We've got our Conversations for Success group. We've got our marketing roundtable, and then we help with our partners. So the MCC, which is Montana Community Connection, we partner with them. We partner with the Main Street Libertyville program on a lot of things. We also get involved with the Civic Center Foundation, who puts on Libertyville Days, and a great partnership with the Adler Cultural Center. So we work with them, and because of that, then we come up with a lot more events that we do during the year. So we'll do a lot of ribbon cuttings. We'll do a lot of grand openings. We'll do a lot of specialty luncheons, specialty after hours, those types of things that the membership will bring forward to us. We're going to, after the first of the year, we're going to kind of break out the WOW and the Mob group so that they've got their own separate identity like we had 2 years ago.
Right.
But it's just, this pandemic has made you kind of condense things a little bit. But during that whole time, we still maintain, virtually all 200 of our events during the year.
So, Scott, as a member, how many referrals can I expect the chamber to give me for my business?
Well, it's kind of a two-way street. And we're more than happy to give as many referrals or introductions. In fact, this morning I just did 2 introductions for Joe Kemick, who has a consulting firm. He needed to talk to a couple people, so I introduced him to that. So what we do is if you're looking for a particular referral or you want to talk to a particular company, regardless if they're a chamber member or not, like again, because of my banking background, I know most of these companies, and I probably know somebody within the company I can talk to. So I can provide you with as many contact referrals as you need. I've had people send me in the course of a month needing 30 introductions to different businesses. And I say, okay, it's going to take me a few weeks to get all that together for you. But I do it, and then I copy them on the information, and then I know that's up to them to make those contacts beyond that.
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. I think when people, especially smaller businesses, join the chamber, is, hey, they're going to build my business for me, and that's not really what a chamber does.
No, I'll tell you a good example is we get a lot of people that come out of corporate life. Bill's a perfect example. They know their product, they know what they're trying to do, they know everything about that particular industry, but they may not know is they don't know how to sell themselves, how to network themselves, and make those contacts beyond. They expect, once they open the door that they're going to be busy. Well, it just doesn't happen that way. A long time ago, I was in the retail business, and you had to be super interactive. You got to put yourself out there. You got to kind of jump out of your comfort zones. But the biggest thing we provide for them is we can provide the marketing support that they need. If they know their product and they know the people they're trying to sell their product to or make partnerships with, then we can help them on the marketing side. If for some reason they don't really have a good game plan set up, then we've got great contacts at the SBDC at the College of Lake County, and we send them there. And then we have them work out a business plan, or they talk to a particular consultant up there. Then they come back to us, and we can help them on the marketing side.
Yeah, that's a great group too, the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center over at College of Lake County. I work with Mitch Bienvenu and that group as well. And actually, when you do that, you can actually branch out to 20 other state local colleges that where you can do. They have the same centers at those colleges and work with them. But being a part of a chamber, being a member of a chamber, you're actually like joining another community within the community. And one of the great things that and one thing I think is important that you want to do when you look into what chamber you think would be best fit for you to join is just what do they do? What all do they do? And you can look at, and here we have Kent showing some of these things that the chamber does, but it is absolutely amazing how much effort goes into promoting your business when you want to. If you want to have an event, they will be sending the emails out and blasting and Facebook and LinkedIn and letting everybody know that you're having this event. Please sign up. Please come, listen or watch or participate in it. And all other types of, what other types of advertising do you do? I know I've taken advantage of some of the things, but even as a member, it's hard to understand just how much a chamber can do for you.
Yeah, that's where I bring Carol in, is because every member that joins GLMV has a page on our webpage, and it's got a login and a password, and you can update it as much as you want. You can put videos in there, you can put pictures in there. If you connect it to all the social media that's available there, you've really expanded your network of and your reach of what your business does, and that's a very important thing, because that's the main thing when we meet with an existing member or a new member. We say, when was the last time you updated your page? We've got some that do it, on a regular basis. They do it, multiple times during the week, or at least a couple times during the month. But we've got members that have been with us for 40 plus years that, oh yeah, I forgot about that piece. And it's a very important piece for them to get, because the reach is much beyond our membership. And when you hook it to all your social media platforms, it really gives you a great boost. And we get around 20,000 hits on our website once a month. So we get a lot of people that are on our website looking around for things, and we
That's
can do banner ads. We can do a lot of different things to help promote them. But probably the biggest important thing is if they've got something they need to get out, we get it out and we blast it out. Carol will do, 2 or 3 e-blasts a week that sends out things that the membership has been sending us. And if you don't take advantage of it, you're really losing, a great marketing tool, because it really,
I mean, you've said it. It's a two-way street, right?
it is.
You have to, as a member, you have to be active.
Sure.
You can be active in a couple of different ways. You go into all these events and becoming, more well known, because we all do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Yep.
And you get your name out there, but you also, hopefully, you're picking up some networking skills, and that's something the chamber can help with as well.
That's networking is important. 2 years ago, we do a lot with our high schools in the area. All the high schools belong to the chamber, and they'll ask us every once in a while to come in and help with certain things. But one of the marketing teacher at Vernon Hills High School asked me to come in, and she goes, "Scott, would you come in and teach one of my classes?" I go, "Sure, absolutely." And she goes, "We're trying to teach them, what it's like in the business world to market." And she goes, "There's one aspect that they probably don't know, and that's networking." So we spent 45 minutes just going over what that networking does, kind of how to do it, and then the importance of it. When I'm in my banking days, when I would go and go to these networking groups, the biggest thing that I want to do was get my card in somebody else's hand so that I had a contact, set up a time to meet for a cup of coffee, and just learn more about their business. Not selling them a thing, but just networking. And the partnerships that you build from that are tremendous. And I think the younger high school students and many of the college kids don't understand it. In my banking days, they would always give me the youngest commercial officer to take out on the street, because what I learned over the years was, let's go in and let's just learn about what this business does. Let's not sell them anything. Let's take notes, and let's come back with an idea that they may like. If they don't like it, at least we made a good contact with somebody, and they realized that we were trying to help their business. And that's probably the biggest thing that networking can provide for you.
It's an art.
It is.
Networking is an art, and you and I both know there are folks that are very good at it, and there are folks that are absolutely terrible at it.
Right.
Or just typically those are folks that just don't understand the purpose of networking. It is not to go to a cocktail hour party and have a few cocktails and try to talk to as many people as possible. It is not to sell whatever you're offering, your product or service. It is something where you should focus on meeting just one or two people, making one or two good connections with each networking event that you participate in. Eventually you'll get to everybody, but I know when I started, it was like, okay, I'm going to meet everybody in this room. And I'm going to do my best to get somebody to come back and talk to me. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you come across as salesy. And you come across as, I'm just here for a few seconds. I really don't care about you. I just want you to know about me. And
you just want to build a rapport with that person, and that whether they become a customer or not, at least they'll become somebody that understands that you're a good guy, and you're out there to help them. And that could lead to other referrals.
And another important aspect of it is look, everybody can sit here and say, you're a Bill Hasse retirement strategist. Oh, I know what that is. And it's like, no, you don't, because we're each different. We each have our niches and whatnot. And so a title is not really a very good thing to fall back on when thinking about what that person does. You need to get to know the person. You need to get to know really what they do, what is their niche, because like in my world, financial advising, there's so many different directions you can go that it's impossible to be an expert in all areas. So you kind of narrowly focus, you build a team, and this is where networking can really help out.
Sure,
you can get your message out there. Again, it needs to be a little more subtle and not in your face, which tends to not work. But I wanted to get back just for a minute to the marketing and advertising side.
Sure.
I wanted to point out something that I've experienced with your chamber, and that's the amount of work that you folks do there. When I come up and just say, I have an idea, or I have an event I want to put on, and you've got Carol supporting you, and Vera, and they come up with some great stuff.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
you know Carol is amazing, meticulous, works so hard, and gets it out there. Um, and that's something I don't recognize in many other chambers, but there are some others that are very, very good chambers.
Sure.
And then there are those chambers that over the pandemic have struggled and either closed or combined with other townships to try and survive.
Yeah, we try to personalize that aspect of what we do. So, when Carol, and you've experienced, when Carol sits down with somebody, she really gets into the nuts and bolts about what that business is like, what they're trying to do, what the history of the business is, and then help them structure a piece that we can send out, and so that it's not too wordy. She's very good about that. She's got a journalism background, so she can really kind of put things together very well. She's very creative in what she does with the pieces she puts behind it. So when it goes out, it's really a customized piece. And I think many times businesses are afraid to change their image to a certain extent. Maybe they've been in business for 15, 20 years, and that image has done them well. But you've got to rebrand yourself at some point in time to be seen, to look like you're a different business in certain respects, so that it gets eye catching. And if you don't have something like that, then you're just going to get lost in the shuffle. So that's why Carol's so good at what she does.
Yeah, you can't. Times nowadays we change so fast. Things move so fast, and with IT and everything, and so what was working for you a year or 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, may not work for you now because so much has changed. And Carol is I want to point out, she's also a member of the paparazzi. She loves to take pictures, and she's an outstanding photographer as well. But in fact, I understand. I think she's going to start taking pictures for the Libertyville Living magazine.
She's going to do that as well. And the thing, this pandemic taught us a lot. That March when that hit, I was on the internet looking for something, and I ran across Zoom, and I go, I wonder when this Zoom thing is. So I sent the link over to Carol, and I go, take a look at this thing. Is this something you think we want to use? And we started using it right away, and we found that so we bought the more professional Zoom program so that we can Zoom, hundreds of people, and we don't have a time limit on when we're on there. We started using that, and that's what kept us vital, kept our membership vital. And now we use it. If we've got to meet with somebody that's is really time restricted, or can't get out of the office and can't get to us, or we can't get to them, we'll set a Zoom meeting up. At least you've got the ability to have eye contact with that person. You can really kind of look at the mannerisms when you're talking to them to see if they're truly interested or not, or if they're not getting what you're trying to tell them. So Zoom's become a very vital tool for us. And, we use it 2 or 3 times a week, and it's on different things. We don't use it for a lot of mass things anymore, but rather than do an in-person committee meeting, we'll do a Zoom meeting. And it's just easier to get everybody together, and we can accomplish what we need in probably 45 minutes to an hour, where if you're doing it in person, it's going to maybe take you an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Right. And that's not the only. Zoom has helped so many people, and I don't think that's going away now that we can get back out. I know the chamber is working hard to get folks face to face and out there and back into the normal environment, the pre-normal environment. I don't know. Is this the new normal? That would be pre-normal.
Whatever the new normal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
It's just normal. There's nothing normal.
There's nothing new. There's nothing
not anymore.
Old. You have to just be able to move forward, and this is what's normal now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my
change with the times, and but the chamber isn't just for the members. It's also, you partner with your villages, with your community. You do events. You support events. I was privileged to be a part of the Tesla grand opening,
right,
of their dealership opening in Libertyville, and that was outstanding. and the free test drives and all that fun stuff. But and that helps start off and kick off for businesses. And there's in this chamber there are so many new businesses. It's amazing that are popping up. Vernon Hills is booming, Libertyville booming, Mundelein booming, and Green Oaks always growing. And these new businesses, they do these ribbon cuttings, and it's the beginning of getting your name out there.
It is.
The beginning of your marketing tool.
It's an important part. And, many times what we do, we get a lot of, each one of our villages handles it a little bit differently. But when we get something from Mundelein or Vernon Hills that they've got a business that's new, needs a ribbon cutting, we jump in and provide that service, help market that particular event for them and everything else. Now, and many times that's a non-chamber member, but we're happy to do it because we've got a great relationship with our village, and they, all four of our villages, and they refer businesses to us, and they talk us up, and we do the same thing for them. If they need an issue that needs some support from us, then we do it as well. Back a few months ago, Vernon Hills was putting together a TIF district for the Hawthorne Center, and they were actually out of the blue were getting some opposition from the county board, and I'm going, why is the county board getting involved? And it's none of their business. This is a municipality issue. And so I talked to the chairman of the county board, and I said, why are you guys even sticking your nose into this? Well, we just don't think it's the right thing for them to do. I go, well, would you rather have the shopping center go under? The TIF is going to put a lot of money back into that center, and think of the jobs and everything else that's created. And so we wrote a letter to county board. We wrote a letter to the Village of Vernon Hills and to our state representatives, and saying this needs to be done, and we need the support of all of you to make sure it does. And lo and behold, they finally backed off, and Vernon Hills was able to put that TIF district into place. But if we hadn't stood alongside of them on it, they still could be fighting for it. And it's an important issue to Vernon Hills. That's the keystone of what made Vernon Hills is Hawthorne Center. And obviously it's gone through a lot of adorations over the years, but now they've got a company that's putting a tremendous lot of money into that center. And the TIF fund can really help in the long run.
That's brilliant. Of course, you're listening to Innovative Strategies with Bill Haase here, 216 Net. The voice you've just been listening to is the president of the GLMV Chamber of Commerce, Scott Adams. And Scott, if people want to learn more about the chamber, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can call me directly. I give everybody my cell phone number. So if they need that, it's 847-878-7651, or they can go to the website. And it's glmvchamber.org, or my email is sadams@glmvchamber.org. They can get a hold of us in many, many different ways.
Yep. And there's a great contact us page there.
Right.
You can fill out, and the troops over there at the Chamber of Commerce will get in touch with you. And the other thing is, go to the events page, because there are events on there that you don't need to be a member. If you want to see, want to see what the chamber's about and things they do, and do some networking and meet some other people, hey, that's the way to go.
There are so many events that this chamber puts on. It's even as a board member, I have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot.
There's so much going on, and Scott, I can't even imagine what it's like to have to attend as many as you do and as many as you can. But in some of the bigger events, you do some big events throughout the year.
Yeah, we do. We're just getting our planning stage for our gala, which is our kind of our membership recognition event. We're going to do it at Innovation Park again this year, and that's a large event. We draw about 150 people for that. And we'll turn around and do our Extreme Block Party in March, which is kind of a B2C type of event. We'll get upwards of 125 vendors. We'll use the Doubletree Hotel. We use all 8,000 square feet of their ballroom for that. And it's a Saturday from 10 to 3, and we'll get 2,500 people that'll walk through there. And it's just a booth event for people just to come in and see the businesses are there. We'll put on some stuff for the kids. We've got a lot of food vendors that come in and hand out samples of foods and that type of thing. So that's a great event for us in March. Then we turn around, we do our mayor's luncheon in May, which will draw 150 people to it. And we get an update from all 4 of our mayors on what's going on. And our golf outing, Bill, that you're a part of, which has been, the last 2 years, even with the pandemic, it's been gangbusters. This year, when we did it in July, we had every sponsorship and every tee time filled 3 weeks prior to the event. So people are looking for things to do. They want to be out and they want to be about, and they want to meet people in person. So the golf event has been great because you're outdoors mainly, and you do have some inside using the clubhouse and those types of things. Then we do our Festival of the Arts with the Adler Center in August, which is they bring in close to 80 artists in Cook Park, and then we set up the street next to the park. We close it off. We put a beer garden in. We put in a full entertainment stage, and for Saturday and Sunday, we've got entertainment from 10 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and on Sunday we do it from 10 to 5. And it's a great exposure for the artists, and great exposure for the Adler Center. And we've got a great partnership with that. We've got a couple other things that we're planning on doing next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have all these different types of events. So you have different types of environments for people who feel more comfortable in one versus another and whatnot. But they're all fun. I've been a part of most of them, and they're a great time. You go back to the market that you do at the DoubleTree Inn, and what the chamber's trying to do is just say, hey, buy locally.
Yeah, exactly.
Help stimulate the economy within your community, and you help bring that out. I've been a part of that as well, both as a spectator and as a vendor.
Yeah, when I came on board, 5 years ago, I've known Carol ever since she came to the chamber, so it was not hard to sit down and talk with her. And I said, we've got to look at what we need to do better for our membership. And not that there was anything wrong with the people that were here in the past, but I felt we really needed to know our membership better. So that first year I was here, Carol and I met with 200 existing and new members just to kind of find out, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What kind of help aren't we providing? What are the things can we do to help promote your business? And we learned a lot from that. And I think we've become a better group because of that. And it's helped. I think we've helped a lot of members over the years. The other thing we realized is that I didn't think we were connected to our communities the way we should be. Obviously, we had a great partnership with our villages, but we really didn't provide enough services, I felt, for what our 4 villages do, or our partners, the MCC, the Adlers, the Civic Centers, the people like that, the high schools. So we just kind of jumped in, and when there was a community event, we made sure that we were part of it, because our membership, the employees for the membership, all live in our 4 communities. So we need to be out there. We need to be seen by what's going on and participate and help with whatever that particular cause is. So, we've done a lot of that in the last few years.
It always helps take a step back. Let's take a helicopter view of what's going on, and just kind of focus, in different areas that you want to try and improve. It's kind of like KPIs, right? Key performance indicators, and figure out where your weakness is, and try to make it a strength. Yeah. And they're so good at that. I mean, even little things. One of the things I really enjoy about some of the board meetings are having the villages come in and fill us in on what's going on in the community, what their work is being done through them. It really gives you a sense of being a part of the community, understanding its growth, understanding ways in which you can help or support their efforts. But and that's the whole goal, is really try to get this thriving. I love what's going on at Hawthorne.
Yep.
Vernon Hills is just booming, and all these communities are booming. But it goes further than that. I mean, you've got members from all over.
We do.
You've got corporations like Foxconn that come in and say, hey, Scott, we're probably going to be looking to you for some help in different ways. Now, what was that all about?
We primarily was in employment. They needed, just like everybody else. They were looking for a way that they could get the word out there so that we could, help them find people to work at Foxconn. And we get that all the time. We use our employment page. We use the employment page at CLC as well. We'll throw it out to the high schools in case there's kids that are graduating early and looking for a job. It gives, it just gives that business the exposure to let them know that they are looking for help. And, right now, everybody's looking for help. I mean, that's a huge issue.
You brought up high schools a couple of times, and I was part of this last year, and a program that they do where we do interviews.
Right, exactly.
With the high school kids. And I got to be honest with you, when I did these last, I believe it was in the spring, the 5 young adults that I met with were outstanding people.
Yeah, I know, they're amazing.
I wish I were in a hiring mode, and because I would have hired any one of them.
Yeah, the kids, they're amazing. What comes out of the high schools, the programs that they've got, rather than the basic, basic academics that they have to do, but they get into, they get into marketing, they get into, whether they're doing websites, IT work, that type of thing. I mean, it really prepares them well going forward because, the biggest thing the high schools don't teach well is that, you don't have to go to college. And we're finding that there's lots of programs that are out there. We've got one company, Laser Precision, that's joined us a year ago, and they're a manufacturing company that's all totally robotic. I mean, they're 24/7 with their robots, but they take in kids and put them through kind of a tutorial, but then they'll send them over to CLC to learn the machine aspects of that. And they bring those kids back. Those kids are earning $80,000 a year, and they've got a job for life with companies like that. And we need to get that diversification out there through the high schools. And they're finally starting to realize that, these kids can go to tech schools, they can go to these other places. They don't have to be, a 4-year student at Northwestern or Illinois, wherever it is.
Right.
Succeed in life. And there's so many life skills that the high schools are teaching these kids. And then we come in and we help reinforce that. And, we help them with internships. We help them find positions like that. And, it gives them a whole more well-rounded education when they know they don't have to be directed strictly to a 4-year institution.
Yeah, I love that aspect. I wish they would include financial
True. Yep.
literacy in that as well. But and I have heard over the last few years that a lot of companies aren't looking to hire those kids out of college or those MBAs and the PhDs. They're looking for more of that entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And because those people tend to think a little differently.
They do, and we, that's one of the things that the high schools kind of rely on us for is a little bit is to, if the kids are looking for a particular job, then we throw it out there, see if we can find an internship for them, and they can work after school and, kind of see if that's kind of the direction they want to go. But, kids today, I'm glad I'm not that age anymore. Because the decisions they have to make are daunting. And I mean, in the arena that they can get into is, it's just phenomenal. The amount of different areas that kids can get into. And again, it doesn't have to be that 4-year institution before they get a job and have all that debt when they come out of school and struggling to find a job. And, they can go different directions. And, Lake County is a great manufacturing county, and we've got reaches through Lake County partners that can help these kids and find these jobs or find these internships. And they do a great job helping us with that as well.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I mean, again, how far are your reaches?
Oh, I don't know if they're endless really when you think about it, because, if we tap into a Medline, let's say, if we tell them there's certain things that we need, or we've got some people that are interested in this or that, they're global. I mean, they could hire somebody and send them to Singapore for 2 years, wherever they have to send them. So those bigger companies are really good that way. And we've got really good relationships with those big companies because they rely on us for those different assets that they can't get if they're not community connected.
Yeah, that's incredible. And but there's more to it than that. To a chamber than just that. Let's look at it from the consumer side instead of a business member side. Consumers, like you said, you're getting like 20,000 hits a month, and obviously these are not members that are trying to find other members and whatnot. These are people in the community trying to find local people to satisfy their needs, whether it's plumbing or electrical or
Sure. It's a lot of that. We'll get them. They'll need. Gee whiz, I'm looking for a new doctor. I just moved into town. Can you help me provide that? Or probably one of the bigger ones that we get is attorneys. They need help with this. They need, maybe they're buying a house. They need an attorney for that, or they're doing something business wise that they need an attorney that specializes in one particular area or another. So we'll provide that service for them as well. But we get a lot of inquiries from our villages. They'll call us and, hey, Scott, who do we know that does this? Because we need some help on the village level. And so we'll connect them with those types of businesses as well. So it's funny where they come from. We get I got a call from a lady in California last week who's moving to the area, and she goes, do you have a community guide? I go, sure, absolutely. And she goes, would you be more than happy to? I'd be happy to send you one. So I sent her that. I sent her a restaurant guide and a couple other things in my card. And I go, when you get into town, give me a call. If you need some help with anything else, we can sit down and, help you find those things as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. I personally, I go on the website like if I want to go out to dinner.
Yeah, sure.
And I want to, because one thing is I want to find out are you a chamber member?
Mm-hmm.
Because then I know you're a little bit more committed into your community and whatnot. And I want to, give you my business.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks can do that. And again, you're able to reach out to more than just the members of the chamber. You're
Sure.
reaching out to the whole community, and that's a lot of people.
It is, and you talk about the restaurants. Back when this pandemic hit, one of our state representatives called me and she goes, Scott, would you sit in on a Zoom meeting with the State House Committee on Small Business? I go, yeah, sure. And so I was on there for about an hour. There were 3 other groups on there as well. And the other 3, all they did was have their hand out. So when they came to ask me some questions, I said, you got to realize that the makeup of our area is made up of a lot of small businesses, number one. And I go, you guys are career politicians. And I go, you don't know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and wonder if you can make your payroll.
Right.
And particularly with at that point in time, I mean, the restaurants and the small businesses were getting just, the restrictions were crazy. And the other thing I wanted to get across to them was and through Pritzker's office at the state is that, what, you're giving these big companies carte blanche to be able to do whatever they want. The Menards, the grocery stores, the Jewels, and all that. All you got to do is put a mask on and you can go in there. You're telling the restaurants that they can't have people inside dining, and all these other things. And we were able to, when he started to relax the issues, we were able to help restaurants that had the big, kind of the barn doors or big windows that were out there.
Yeah.
And if they were sitting within 10 feet of those windows, then that was considered outdoor dining, and we were able to get that passed have Pritzker include that in his edicts. So, we went to bat for, all of our small guys, particularly during the pandemic, because they were just getting lambasted with restrictions that just weren't fair.
So clearly, it brings a lot of value and benefit to become a member of the chamber, or at least to inquire and use the chamber's resources.
Mm-hmm.
For your benefit. That's what they're there for. They're for the community.
More than mixers, crackers, cheese, and wine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't throw those out.
Yeah, hey, that's just a perk, right? It's like having frosting on your cake.
It's it's really the support or the one-on-one contact that we provide to members. And if they've got like I said, if they've got an issue or got a problem, let's try to figure it out. And if we can't, obviously we can fall back to the SBDC, but 9 times out of 10, we can come up with a solution or a marketing plan that's going to help them get some contact, or we'll make the introductions, whatever it is that they need, and just to help get their foot in the door of a business or somebody that they're trying to do business with or trying to expand their business with that they probably can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's especially like with the restaurants, and here you are saying, telling them, okay, you can't open up your doors because you can't have indoor dining, but you can do this outdoor dining. And now you're saying, okay, they have to go spend a whole bunch of money here to expand their business out their back door into the street. In one case, in Mundelein, and in the back doors and on the sidewalks and whatnot. And they're not bringing money in, and now they have that much more going out that they did not anticipate. But there were some programs I know you helped a lot of folks out with. There was the PPP,
right?
But there were other grants that were available that you worked hard at, and not just sitting there waiting for people and business owners to come to you, but you were reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, you need to do this. You need to apply for this," because
we needed, and the first round of PPP was very confusing to people. So it was,
yeah.
We were fortunate enough, and from my banking days, I was able to kind of figure out where we were on this thing. So we met with a lot of people that were trying to do it, and we, soon found out that there were some banks that were, agile enough to be able to handle it. Most every bank's got some connection with the SBA, but there were certain banks that really worked well within the SBA dome. So we helped them with that. We helped them with the EIDL loans. When we did the Lake County small business loan process back a year ago, we were able to get a lot of our businesses into that so that they could take advantage of that grant program and just help them do that. Then we did that GoFundMe page for the first responders, the Condell people, the firemen and police departments, and we used our restaurants to feed those folks. So we did, in a matter of, I think, 90 days, we spent close to $15,000 feeding Condell's people, feeding the fire departments, public works people, and we used all of our member restaurants to provide that food for them. So it gave them a little extra, income coming in to, help them along the way when they were totally closed. The only thing they could do was curbside or carryout.
Yeah, and by Condell, you're talking about the hospital there locally, and providing meals and whatnot to folks like that. It's just a real simple way to say, hey, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes so far, and it means so much to those individuals and those folks.
Really, they did it by department over at the hospital, and it was amazing. The letters and the emails we got back from the people saying, gee whiz, it made my day. You can just imagine what they're going through, dealing with all the COVID patients and everything else. And same thing with our, firefighters and our police departments. I mean, they're restricted on what they can do, and just to help them out a little bit, it would provide them with a lunch or a dinner. It was great, and the restaurants absolutely loved doing it, and they had a good time. And I know beyond that, I know a lot of them carried that program after we stopped it, and we're still doing it.
Oh, that's outstanding. I mean, you're helping out the restaurant on their side, providing them with some income, and then you're telling somebody else, just hey, just thinking of you. Thanks for what you do.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the conversation here, I mean, the question for the show was, ever wonder, what chambers do and what they're about, and why would you want to be a member of one? If you haven't gotten that answer yet, I'm not sure how else to get that across, because it's just so important and so vital to a community, and everything that you do with this chamber, above and beyond the call of duty.
Well, no, it's I've always been a give back person. That's why I serve on the village board. That's why I've been on the planning commission. That's why I was chair on the Main Street. I grew up here, so I felt it was important for me to be involved and give back and spend my time where I felt it was important. But the chamber's been just an expansion of that to me to a great extent. Again, because I know a lot of the businesses, and it's nice working with these small businesses. It's nice working with the big businesses. It's kind of fun. The relationships and the friendships that I've built just in the 5 years that I've been here, beyond the friendships I had before, is unbelievable. And the better connections I've had with all four of our villages has been great. And we've got, they turn to me on a regular basis, and I'll go to them on a regular basis, and it's like, yep, whatever you need, and I do the same thing for them. Tell me what you need, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. And that's the type of thing. If you get the buy-in from the membership that way, and obviously you're one that's bought into it, and a lot of our members are like that. But we've got members that pay their dues, and we never see them.
They put a sticker in their window on their store.
Yeah, I guess the service we're providing for them is the fact that we're a credible organization, and it's good for them to be a member. I mean, if that's all they're getting out of it, then that's fine. But if there's something that they really need to help their business, they should know that they can come to us.
Yeah, and oftentimes maybe they don't feel or know that, and it's not because you didn't inform them when they became on as a member, because I know you're very, very thorough with every folks at every business owner that even comes to you and says, I'm thinking about joining.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a whole process, and I've been through that with you. And it's a fantastic process, because if you walk away, you can actually be overwhelmed by how much support that the chamber can give you. And it is a lot of information. So, and a business owner says, all right, but I've already got a lot on my plate. And it's like, you have to remember that sometimes there's other folks out there that can help you eat off of that plate and knock it down and make things a little bit less stressful for you.
Well, we always say you got to work on your business, not working in your business all the time. And, that means that you've got to think of different ways that you can provide different services for your employees, or if it's expansion, or if it's a new product line, you need to get it out there. But if you just stay in your business and just work in your business on a day-to-day basis, you're not expanding your business. You're not expanding your reach. You're not networking the proper way. And I don't care how successful your business is. If you're not networking, you're not going to make your business more successful, because you're not making the viable contacts that you need to make. That's where we come in, and that's where we can help.
Yeah, I agree. The chamber brings such great value. I mean, you could go out and spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on marketing and advertising, and you don't know what your return on investment is going to be. You don't have a clue. Or you can go to a chamber and in most cases at no cost, get some type of a marketing plan together and get some advertising going and get your name out there in the community, because if that's where you can't start by selling internationally, right? You got to start selling by, sell close to home, and then build out from there.
And what we saw in August is a lot of people leave their jobs, not because of what they're getting paid, but because of the atmosphere, right? Mm-hmm. And the working conditions, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people, especially in the suburbs here, want to work with people who are active in the community, who they see out and about, not just a truck running by with a name on it. Or, but boy, if I see you at an event, and whether it's a charity event or picking up garbage on the side of the road, whatever the case may be, I go, man, that I want to do business with that person. That's marketing, that's branding, that is invaluable.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It really is.
And that's really what I think the hub of the GLMV does is, creates all these opportunities for you to do that as a business owner, right?
We work a lot with, business will have a marketing firm that they use, and we'll sit down and talk with those people and see, okay, what do you have plans for these guys? The problem we run into many times is these marketing companies don't understand the marketplace that they're going into. And that's where we can be very viable on that. I know when all of the Melody Farms area opened up down there, and that's all corporate, businesses that are coming in there. I remember one time I got a call on a Monday morning. It was in here at 7:00, and I get a call from somebody in Maryland saying, we're opening up a restaurant in Melody Farms. I go, okay, great. We're opening it up this Thursday. I go, okay. What can I provide for you? So she goes, well, we need to get the word out. We'll join the chamber. I go, fine. We'll send us what you need. We'll get that out there. We'll tell everybody there's going to be a ribbon cutting on Thursday at whatever time you want to do it. We had a great turnout for it, but she goes, at the end, she goes, I also need a band. I go, a band. I go, okay, well, let me work on that. So I got a couple of friends that that play some music in some of the taverns around the area. So I called a couple of them and I said, hey, do you want this gig or not? And they go, yeah. So we got a guy that was, played an acoustic guitar and sang, and so they had their band. So, but these marketing companies out of the area, they rely on us to be the boots on the ground, and
Well,
that's where we can help the corporate people.
another example of that is tents. So, all of a sudden when restaurants were able to open up,
Yeah.
and they all had to put these tents up and everything, and all of a sudden there's a shortage of tents. Where
Oh,
do you
yeah,
go?
big time.
Yeah.
And what do? You go to a guy like Scott, and he has the connections, and the chamber has the connections to.
Yeah, we've got a couple of different tent companies that we've dealt with over the years, and we, if they get a call from us, they're probably going to put those people up at the top of the list rather than telling them, well, we'll have to wait 6 weeks, get you in or whatever. So it kind of helps that, the connection. It's just, it's the partnerships. It's really and it boils down to really that aspect is we're a partner to your business and help make you build partnerships that are going to be important to your business.
And a partnership with the chamber is there's more influence there. There's
Yeah,
more
there is.
value there because it's not just one person. It's not just you, Scott. It is the chamber. It is all the people and the members. But of course, the direction that chamber goes is really the important part as well. That you help and Carol helps and Vera helps direct and and keeps it so vibrant because it is. I mean, the events that you're doing, the gala event that you do for recognition of the members, that's a huge event.
Yeah, it is.
It's not necessarily a black tie event, but it is a dress up event. A lot of the restaurants come and show off their wares. A lot of folks donate a lot of items to be auctioned off.
And we try to make it not a rubber chicken dinner. We want it to be very casual. We want people to interact. It's really a big networking event. So we don't want people sitting at an 8-foot table for 2 hours listening to somebody speak. We want them to interact and be involved and enjoy the atmosphere that's there. Enjoy the restaurants that are there. Enjoy the camaraderie of the friends and meet new friends. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah, and again, that's just one of 200 plus events that go on throughout the year. But is there anything else you can think of that we should know about chambers and in general?
Well, I think the basic ingredient of a chamber is to support the membership, and that takes on a lot of different hats, I guess. But it's our economy is driven by what the businesses in our area do, and if we need to make sure that they stay vibrant, that's what helps the tax base. That's what helps the property tax bases. Makes the community a community, and so we just kind of sit on top of that and make sure that what they need is available to them, or if the help is there for them. So and one I'll just toss out too is a year ago we got contacted by the Midwestern Veterans Association, and they do a coat drive every year. So, and before the pandemic, they relied strictly on the high schools to be the collection points for that. Well, high schools weren't open, the schools weren't open. So, John Petrillo in Vernon Hills calls me and he goes, "Can you help these guys put this thing together?" So we met a couple times and we said, "Yeah, by all means we can." So that first year, I think we had 22 distribution places around the area, and we collected thousands and thousands of coats. This year we've got, I think, close to 35 collection areas, and we've already had, hundreds of coats picked up, and by the time we're done, we'll have thousands of coats. But that helps the veterans and helps their cause, and it's just another partnership that's out there that we enjoy being a part of, and it helps the community. And I think chambers, to a great extent, I know some chambers that are very restrictive in what they do, and they really stick to being a business organization. We're the biggest business organization in Lake County, and I think it's because we go beyond that business aspect. We go into the community piece, and the community piece it parlays well with the business piece. And I think that's why our membership is the way it is.
Right. And good testament is a number of people did drop off during the pandemic and are all coming back and returning.
Yep.
Because they saw the value, they see the value. They took a year off because of indecision. How is my business going to make it? Is it going to survive? Is it going to go? Is this an expense I can afford? What can the chamber really do for me under these conditions? But they realized that not only did this chamber survive, but it thrived.
Yeah.
And I think that is another reason why they brought so many people are coming back in. And but anyone is welcome to join, right?
Yep, absolutely. We'd love to have them. All they got to do is contact us, and we'll sit down with them and kind of help them get indoctrinated in what we do.
There we are. Hey, that music means we're right at the back end of Innovative Strategies with Bill Hussey. Want to thank our good friend Scott Adams.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Jeff Hovar says at the Butterfield Studio, great podcast. We are now here full time at the studio. Looking forward to being involved with the chamber.
Yep, that's great. Love the Butterfield Studio.
That's it. For all of us here, 21.6 the net. Thanks for getting caught in the net with us. And remember, if you think you have strategies, get in touch with Bill because he's got innovative strategies. For all of us here, enjoy the day. Come back at 12:30 for questions you never thought you could ask in church.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Take care, Scott. We'll talk soon.